We are live. Hello, and hello, Leigh.
Hi, Mamina. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I welcome you to Holistic Conversations,
Thank you.
and I'm grateful for your presence today. Uh, yeah, so today's uh, topic is like we are addressing mental health for this month. And something that came to my mind is like more than my mind, my heart spoke up like love is medicine. Today's episode should be named Love is Medicine. Uh, so we will be talking about that. And there are so many different approaches to that. Everybody has their own way.
Yeah.
Let's see how it unfolds for today, for us, for all of us. So, before getting started with our conversation, I would ask Leigh to lead us for a short grounding and to acknowledge uh, the situations throughout the world today that we are going through. Yeah, we will take some time there and then we'll be back to our conversation. Yeah, Leigh.
Thank you, Mamina. I want to also express my gratitude for you and thank you for having me today. And also, I'm grateful to just offer a guided centering and grounding. And I invite you to have an intention, and I offer an intention for this centering and grounding to be for all beings so that all beings may experience heart peace, love, and embodied belonging. So, as I lead you or as I guide, skip over anything that doesn't resonate for you. So, you can have your eyes softly gazing down or in another direction, or you can close your eyes. And I invite you to gently connect with your breath. So just notice how your breath flows through you at this time. And you can begin to just be with your breath unconditionally. And as you notice your breath, notice the inside of your body. And just offer yourself unconditional noticing. Just an unconditional noticing and a loving awareness of your breath in your body. And with gentleness, allow your body to relax on your exhales. Invite your exhales to ground you and connect you to Mother Earth. You can invite your breath to flow to the surface of the earth or as deep as the core or anywhere in between. Just inviting your exhales to anchor you into this moment. Inviting your connection to Mother Earth to soothe your body, to soften your body. And take a few moments to notice your presence, your essence, your heart, your body, and your place on the planet. And I invite you to take a few breaths along the center of your body, from the base of your spine to the crown of your head in both directions. Inviting this energy from Mother Earth, which is slow, nurturing, supportive, and nourishing, to flow along the center of your body. Notice your center and your core. And allow this breath and this earth energy flowing through you to move from your center throughout your whole body. Noticing your wholeness and your physical body, your energy body. And then allow your breath and attention to flow through and with your heart. Noticing and acknowledging your heart presence and your heart wisdom. And I invite you to reflect and call upon a memory when you experienced peace and ease and love. And allow yourself to connect with that memory and allow your body and heart to resonate with that memory of peace and ease and love. And I'll just invite a little bit of quiet for us to breathe and allow our hearts and bodies and breath to resonate with this peace and ease and love. And if you're called, you can place a hand on your heart and your belly or anywhere else on your body. You might feel called to bring connection and presence to. And then I invite us all to take 3 deep breaths to invite this possibility and honor and envision that all beings may experience heart peace, love, and embodied belonging. And then whenever you're ready, you can begin to move, open your eyes, and just come back into the space where you are, into our shared space here.
Wow, beautiful. I don't feel like talking now.
I understand.
Yeah, it's become such a habit uh, now with compassionate inquiry
Mm.
to just accept the calmness,
Mhm.
to the quiet,
Yes,
uh, to the stillness.
yes,
That
yes.
it's challenging to immediately transition from there to this outer world.
Yes, I
Yeah.
understand. That's a big practice for me, how to create a pathway to yeah, to bridge the two. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was wonderful, and I feel so calm and ease.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was beautiful. And you look beautiful today.
Likewise, you look beautiful as well. Thank you. I was wanting to say that earlier, so once again, the resonant connection there.
Well, I was scrolling through your Insta, and I found so many pictures that I have for myself, like my
Mm.
pictures, like I will share it with you. I was trying to make a slideshow of those and to present it here, but then
Mm,
I'm not that tech savvy, so I said, okay, maybe when we upload the video, then I can include some of the pictures.
yeah.
Same to same, same to same. I was like
Wow.
amazed.
Wow. I look forward to seeing them very much. Wow.
That after seeing those pictures, I was like, wow, some way or the other, there is some connection. Like we connect. It doesn't
Yeah.
really matter from which part of the world you belong, what language do you speak, and uh, that
Yeah.
I found that to be so inclusive and belonging. Like the way I think, somebody can also think like the same.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for acknowledging that. I feel I'm very touched for you to acknowledge that. And the timing of the podcast, I had just maybe a week before, um, really just started being curious about how I could connect with like-minded people who are, um, participating, in a healing evolution or healing movement or
Yeah.
day to day healing. So I'm excited to see those pictures. Thank you for sharing that.
I will share them. Yes, yes, definitely. And yeah, coming back to our conversation, I would like you to share something about your experience, your life, your journey.
Mhm.
How did you arrive? And thank you for arriving that we met.
Mhm. Likewise. Likewise. Likewise.
Yeah, let's listen to you. Let's know about you. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And I will say, I appreciate you saying the word arrive. And I think it's just a continual arriving. Um, and yeah, there's so many things I could say, but I would say I'll just say what comes, in the
sure.
moment, of course.
Absolutely.
There was a way that prior to prior to seeking out teachers and trainings to be a healing practitioner, that I noticed that I would be a support to people in my life going through a big change, going through a shift of identity, going through a healing process, or going through great loss. And it's likely that I was showing up for people in that way because of my own experiences in those areas. And that inspired me to create an alignment with what I do so that I could offer, healing approaches to people in a parameter of like a healing session, where it wasn't just in my personal life. So that was part of what called me. Um, I will say also what called me was my own suffering and my own wounding and my own trauma. For sure, I have experienced abandonment as a child. Um, and I also experienced half adoption and separation, not full separation, but a very unique way that I was separated from my parents at a very young age. And also, I had a lot of loss, mostly in my teens through my 20s. I had quite a few um, very close blood family and soul family members die, which has played a big role in my experience of my life. And now I know too that loss can bring up um, past wounds that haven't been looked at or realized or recognized. So those are some of the personal things that have drawn me to this work. And um, yeah, I could pause there. I could say more, but I think that's kind of what comes to mind. And I think actually I'll add that I have a passion that comes from my heart that, um, I want to be a person who acts in service of authenticity and in support of people to their birthright of to connect with their birthright of having the right to their feelings, having the right to their humanity, having the right to suffer, and then also to learn how to learn about possibilities of how one might suffer less, and to explore that. Um, and in a way, as you said in the beginning, that is unique for everybody. Like there's not one way. So, so I'll just pause there. Thank you for asking. Those are some of the things that came up right away.
Thank you so much for sharing. With your sharing, what touched me is like we have to suffer. We suffer,
Mm,
and it's a beautiful thing because it gives you something.
yeah.
It gives you something, and the time is all ours. You know, when we want to learn from that,
Yeah.
to have that awareness or consciousness or that need yes need, like
Mhm,
that question why I am suffering, why it's happening with me, and that question navigating you or directing you to some new openings,
mhm.
some new possibilities. Beautiful. Like I love the word actually. After one throughout this compassionate inquiry course, I'm mentioning this very often because we met through compassionate inquiry,
Yes,
and
we did.
it's not been a very long time. It's like during this month, I can
Mhm,
say it's been like 15 days.
mhm, mhm. Yeah.
So we connect through that, and I'm
Mhm.
grateful for that space actually.
Me too.
Yeah, and it's wonderful to be there, where I learned that I can be myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say like with every session and with every practice session, how it integrated me and how I am able to be more myself. I'm just adding to being more myself and learning and exploring about uh, so many different possibilities, and
Mhm.
it's just amazing. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
it
And
is.
the word possibility is now a guiding word for me because
Mhm.
I also work as a therapist for children. That
Mm.
does not only limit to working with children, but every adult who is working with children, like,
Yes.
so
Yes.
it's a lot of people involved in there, and to to work with all of them, I have to look for different possibilities.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I want to know about your experience, about your experience.
With with working with people with compassionate inquiry?
Yeah, and the word possibility.
Okay, yes. Yes. Thank you for that. What comes to mind is something recently that came up um, in my meditation class. So it was conversation that we had, and what you're sharing, possibility, reminds me of well, when I consider what state of being am I in when I am open to possibility. I
Right.
am open. There's something about my openness to the unknown, because
Mm,
possibility is an invitation to explore the unknown.
beautiful.
And what we talked about in the meditation class was goals versus an aim.
Hmm.
And I had thought about that as it's great to have goals. I'm not like anti-goal. However, um, the sense of it for me was that having a goal senses into more rigidity,
Right.
or
I agree.
even more ego, like it has to go a certain way, or this is what I'm doing. And I create suffering for myself when I'm too rigid about a goal. But the aim, that it's more open, it's more connected to the field, the insights arising in the field, what isn't being seen, you know. So and befriending the unknown. Um, so that's what comes, and possibility is, when I'm a client in a compassionate inquiry session, I have moments where the practitioner will say, "So, do you think there's some possibility around this for you?"
Mm.
And I might just have like that much of a yes, I think it's possible. And sometimes that's enough just to honor that, like, okay, I'm open to possibility this much in this area. And it's even a crack,
Yeah.
the light can get through there. So it's,
Beautiful.
yeah. And I'm grateful that I can give that example of me being a client, because for me, it keeps it real. It keeps it real that there are parts that are challenging, but that possibility is powerful.
Right. Very rightly said. And I would also like to mention that when during our sessions, when we practice uh, that possibility that you said, that blows their mind
Mm,
for some, is
yeah.
like, and immediately they feel that in their body, like, I feel light. I feel
Hmm.
so light. And it's so nice to hear that,
Yeah.
because with your experience, you may not realize it that much, but when you see the other person uh, feeling that bodily and expressing that,
Yeah.
and that breath, that release of that breath,
Yeah.
wow, I feel great, or I feel unburdened. So to
Yes.
see that, to learn, and that is something I love during sessions, like,
Hmm.
because I also don't know, like, if I'm a therapist, then I don't know how it's going to unfold, because
Hmm.
I don't know the person, I don't know their
Yes.
background.
Yes.
And I I sit with no agenda, and then
Hmm.
I let it unfold, and it's so amazing that having no agenda when you're doing your session
Yeah.
is like, just going along with the client.
Beautiful. Yes.
I
Yes.
I'm still learning, but I love this way, this approach.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I don't have to work hard. I just have to be there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love
And
that about it too.
and that creates all the magic.
It does. Yes. Presence and attunement,
Yeah.
and co-regulating in the
Yeah.
session. Yes. Yeah.
And it's amazing because to connect with someone whom we don't know
Hmm.
within those time, like 1 hour or 2 hour, it's such a big thing when we think about it. Like, I can always say, like, no, I don't want to talk. Why should I talk? I don't
Hmm.
know them. Or what is the point of being invested if I don't really know them, and I'm not going to stick to them for a long time. But once we are in a session, me being a client as well, that feeling has never came to me, like, that connection just happens, it just
Hmm.
unfolds
Yes.
so natural.
Yeah. When you share that, it reminds me um, of essence, which is something that we learn about in compassionate inquiry. And um, Gabor's teacher, A.H. Almaas, writes
Hmm.
about essence a lot. And so when you say that, it reminds me of that resonance, like even though you don't know someone, or I'll speak for myself, even though I might not know someone, it might be the first session that I share compassionate inquiry with them. How I experience is that essence knows essence. So when we're able to be present and really attuned and really with, there's that's one way that I see it,
Beautiful.
the part of me that knows you and the
Yeah,
part of you that knows me.
that's the beauty, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's how we connected, I guess.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's so nice to talk about therapy and sessions and like to me it was some kind of dissociation from the normal world,
Hmm.
because we are not talking, we are not creating anything, and we are not engaged in any aggressive, uh, negative, and we are just calm with our own community, with
Hmm.
our own uh, authenticity, you can say, like being our in our own way, in our own way, and learning about how to work on it more.
Hmm.
Now if I have to go somewhere and talk to somebody, I would be like thinking, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. And are you speaking to the compassionate inquiry community and the style of the approach and how it how it manifests through our way of communicating? Am I understanding you
Absolutely,
right? Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
because for me this is like a different experience. I have not worked as a therapist,
Hmm.
I have been through so many different phases of my life, doing different things. But therapy, no, I never planned for that. But this
Hmm.
is coming to me, this is unfolding. This is
Mm.
and I am flowing with it. I don't have any resistance. Like I don't want
Mm.
to do this, or I don't like it, or nothing that is stopping me from doing this. It's
Mhm.
coming to me so naturally that I'm getting more inclined towards this rather than my other gatherings, or like that
Yes.
get-togethers and stuff like that.
Mhm.
By saying this, I do not want to disrespect any of my life situations, but I'm
Sure.
just saying like my inclination is towards more towards this kind of engagement rather than you know
Yes. Yes.
and that learning and having no regrets about it, feeling not being missed out.
Mhm.
The FOMO culture.
Yes. Yes. Yes, and in the year-long training, it is a commitment. Um, and what you're sharing reminds me of my experience of it's a bit of a different paradigm, for me to live with an intention to be compassionate with myself. So less judging and hating on myself, more compassion. And it sounds really beautiful. Like who wouldn't want that? And it's the places where I need it most that are the most challenging, and I would say it's easy for me to forget that those are the areas where I need to offer myself compassion
Mm.
and gentleness and understanding and connection and attunement with myself. Um, and I bring this up because to me, offering myself compassion then feeds into me offering others compassion. And that changes the way that I interact with myself and the world. And so I see that in the CI community, there is a different way at least my experience is that it's a different way that we talk to one another.
Yeah.
And consent, of course, in the sessions is so paramount, and agency is, it's a human need, and it's so honored in compassionate inquiry. So I find that that has changed the way that I interact with everybody in the world. Like I ask permission more. I don't assume as much. I'm more intentional and gentle, with everyone.
Yeah.
And before compassionate inquiry, I was more used to, more unsolicited advice, or being pushed or pushing, or going fast, or being harsh or judging. So that's what arises for me when you share about that. I don't know if that resonates for you too. Yeah.
Absolutely, definitely. Excuse me. It
Mm.
resonates with me because I I am not being working for so many years of my life, and it was a concern for me, like how to talk to people. I mean, somebody says something and you react right away. Like, how is that going to? When is that thing going to be taken care of? How should I learn? To okay, it's okay, it's okay. So
Mm.
that is happening now. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, because I would also like to say that uh, learning in that environment, compassionate inquiry, we all know where we are coming from. We accept that, like, I accept that I have done so many things like that. It's not that I did nothing, no mistakes, I'm super perfect. To have that understanding about my own self, like, yeah, I did this, oh my god, I did it several times in my life, not once. So now I know other possibilities, other ways to deal with those kind of situations.
Yes.
Before,
Yes.
that was the only way to react, to stop,
Yes.
to resist. But now there is whole lot of possibilities to deal with a certain situation, because we meet so many people. Like, for me, uh, I don't like if I don't like somebody, I just cannot talk to them no matter what. Before it was like, I'm not talking, whatever. But now I cannot ignore, because the way I am working, the profession that I am in, I have to consider everybody, like the
Mhm.
parents, the teacher, the counselor, the principal, whoever is involved in
Mm.
that environment. I cannot cut away with them, because it's all integrated, we are part of a
Yes.
team. So I need to learn how to be with everybody, how to make it a better, uh, what do you say, make it more fluid, and learn from each other and work as a team. So
Mhm.
I understand myself now, like, wow, really, did I solve this problem like this? Was it me? Where is it coming from? I'm amazed at my way of dealing, like.
Mhm.
And I really like it, like, wow, I can do this, it can be solved like this. It's not necessarily like the way I was, and now the way I am uh, learning things makes a huge difference.
Yes. Yes. Wow. Beautiful to hear that. Beautiful to hear that. And it you know what it reminds me of. I could share like what I hear you saying, and when I take it to like an internal level, um, like all the emotions that I'm capable of experiencing. Um, in the past, I would really resist some of them,
Mm,
which didn't make them go away, and probably maybe enhanced the intensity. Um, and compassionate inquiry has helped me to get into relationship with all of those emotions when they're speaking to me, when they're resonating. So that's what it reminds me of, being in relationship with the whole, rather than, like not wanting to I don't want to talk to my fear, or I don't want to look at my shame because it's uncomfortable. I don't like it. Um, there was a point definitely that didn't work for me anymore. And it's a different discomfort, but it is definitely, once again, like more of an openness and an inclusion
Yeah. Yeah.
and possibility. I'm going to weave that in too, because when we bring that in, what's possible,
Yeah.
it just opens it up a little more, and
Yeah.
that spaciousness can be so um, healing. It can be so relieving to have more space. Let's open this up,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
see what's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. But it needs a lot of work and a lot of practice. I think I should say that the way we are practicing is helping us build on those skills and
Yeah.
to trust ourselves more. Like,
Hmm.
um, yeah, let's just try. Let's just opening up to try things. Like,
Hmm.
uh, yeah, I don't want to talk to that person, but then I have to. So yeah, let's try. Let's just see how it goes. It's
Hmm.
not like that fixated mindset is slowly. Uh, how would I say? It's not in the picture anymore.
Hmm.
If it's there, it's not very loud.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I understand. The volumes change on all sorts
Yeah,
of different things. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And that is so beautiful, so beautiful.
It is.
Wow, it's so nice talking to you. I mean, I feel good. I feel so good.
Me too. Me too. The feeling is mutual. It's wonderful. There's so much flow and creativity. A lot of
Yeah.
exchanging. Yeah, I'm so grateful.
Yeah, yeah. I have also learned that you have been a photographer. Like,
Yes.
yeah, talk about
Yes.
that.
Sure. Thank you. And I saw that you are also an artist. So I want to ask you a question too after I
Yeah,
answer, if that's
please.
okay. I know you
Yes.
said it was okay. My background is in photography, and that was what I first pursued after high school.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm fortunate to have been able to study that, and I I do love it. I still love it. And creativity is a big part of my strength,
Wow.
because I'm open to, looking at things, seeing things in a different way. I'm open to a creative flow. Um, and and I find that helps me as a practitioner,
Wow.
because I'm comfortable in a creative process. So, and then I will say, throughout when I was younger, throughout my 20s, it went from photography, and I then started to play music. So I played music in a couple bands, and the reason I did that was because I found that music, because we played shows, there was this resonance that was shared, and there was more community, in a way that I saw an exchange. It was the resonant exchange. And then it evolved even further, that I saw relationship
Mhm.
as such, maybe just as a very advanced form of creativity.
Wow.
And so that is actually another thing that led me to be a practitioner, because even this conversation, from my, um, the way that I perceive our conversation today, is that it's a piece of, it's an artwork. It's creative. This isn't scripted. This is like genuine sharing, and it's evolving and growing. It's co-created. So, having been an artist who primarily did work by myself, then I started to play music with people, And then I got curious about healing. And so I do see it as a very creative process. Um, Thank you for asking. I do love, yeah, and creativity probably was very likely a healing relationship for me to like have
Wow.
that realm and to be connected to that. And it still is today. It's a part of my everyday life. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and I'm curious. So I have two questions for you. I would love to hear how you came to compassionate inquiry, and I'd love to hear about your background in art and as an artist as well, if you'd like to share that.
Sure, definitely. Compassionate inquiry is like since I changed my career, you know, I was working, I did my MBA, and then
Mhm,
I worked in human resources for a
mm,
couple of years on and off.
mhm,
And then I did other jobs, but then I was not happy. I was not happy. So I love children.
mm.
So
Beautiful.
I did my early childhood education in Vancouver, Canada. We
Mm.
lived there for about 7 8 years, and then we moved to US.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so I did my course there, and I started to work with kids, children,
Mhm, mhm,
and then I loved working with them because uh, I could connect to them, I could love them, they could love me back. It was a good flow, no resistance, no adults micromanaging you.
mhm. I don't like that either.
Oh
I
my
understand.
god. And for me, dealing with adults is more challenging than dealing with kids,
Hmm.
because I can play with them, I can color with them, I can listen to them, I can read stories to them, I can just be with them for my lifetime.
Mhm,
So that is something I loved. And then later when we moved to US, uh, there are a lot of opportunities that I saw. And
mm,
then one of my friend referred me for this, my present profile as a therapist with school district, and I loved working one on one.
mm,
And during that time, I had to deal with parents as well, caregivers as well. So
mhm,
I thought, like, why not I study more about adults now,
mhm,
because it's not um, it's not like if I'm working with kids, I'm not confined to them. I am still having to deal with their parents, their caregivers, their grandparents, so for which I need to have some skill, you know.
mhm,
So that is how. And also during my stay in Vancouver later, like maybe last year in Vancouver, uh, I was scrolling YouTube, and then I watched Gabor,
mm,
just unknowingly, like when we scroll, and I read that myth of normal.
mhm.
So the way normal word is manipulated, and how the society is um, normalizing that, so
Yeah.
that resonated with me. And some of my friends who were working with me, they said that there is something called trauma, there is something called trauma courses where you can help people, you can do counseling and so many other things, because I did my psychology and sociology in my graduation.
Mhm,
So that was the connection I found. I had no interest in my MBA now. I didn't want
mhm,
to do that anymore. So this connected me with my younger child, or whatever you can say,
mhm, mhm,
so I found a strong calling, like, yes, this is something I want to do. This is something I want to
mhm,
do. So then after moving here, I was still following him, and I started to read his books, actually. And then I uh, felt like, wow, he's authentic. He's talking real, like
Yes.
his life situations, the book where he's writing about his clients, and it
Yeah.
is not, it is not always the medicine that helps.
Yes.
It is not the medicine which is curing you. Yeah, it's doing it for a certain extent, but it is your, the way you are, the way your relationships are, the way you are leading your life, maybe your lifestyle. So
Yes.
that brought me to my body, like, wow, I think like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have suffered because of this thought. I would say, like, it's not like I was accepted the way I am. I always had people saying things to me, making fun of me,
Mm.
restricting me, micromanaging me, and but I would always feel like I can't let this go. If it's with me, if it came to me, I need to live the way I am living.
Mhm.
So many relationships are gone because of that.
Mhm.
And I did suffer. And now I am understanding that, okay, this is where I had to arrive.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
where I had to arrive. So if I look back now and I see myself now, everything is fair.
Hmm. What do you could you help me understand what you mean by that everything is fair? What do
Because
you
now I don't have any regrets.
I see. I see. I
The
see.
way I lived
Mhm.
my life,
Yeah.
I feel like, yes, whatever was there was real,
Yes.
you know
Yeah. Yeah.
and now I can totally be myself. I can accept the way I am,
Hmm.
and I can be myself. I felt that
Mhm.
sense of being myself when I started doing this compassionate inquiry.
Yeah.
Like this
Beautiful.
this liberation, this realization, working on yourself. You can still be yourself, you can totally be yourself. And uh, yeah, being yourself is, we are exploring in every session, every class. So
Mhm.
I loved it. I'm like, okay, this is it.
Mhm.
So that's how I after reading his books, I enrolled in May.
Mm.
Finally in May, I enrolled
Mhm.
for compassionate inquiry, and I loved it. I was very afraid when the class started. The first day I was passing out, because so many people from so many different backgrounds are there
Yes.
in the class,
Yeah.
and also their educational qualification.
Mhm.
I am not that much qualified. Like, I did my MBA, I did my graduation, I did early childhood education. I'm not masters, I'm not doctorate, I'm not from science background, and so many other things. But even if there is such a, what do I say, versatile crowd, I can still be myself and see myself, and I am seen and I am heard.
Mhm. Yes. Yes.
So that's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And I just am reminded of Sat Dharam in a meeting recently, encouraging us to remember that every single person brings something unique to compassionate inquiry as a practitioner, no matter what their background is. And I just, I get chills when I say it. I mean, because it really aligns for me. I really believe that we all have gifts, and it might take some time to identify them or cultivate them or really anchor into them. But I really align with that, and um, so I just wanted to share that when in honor of that, and in honor of the diversity of the people in the world, but
Yeah.
also in the compassionate inquiry community, both of our backgrounds and our where we are in the world. Yeah, it's been very inspiring and humbling.
Yeah. And also, when I started class, I realized that everybody suffered,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
matter what they are today. They may be very rich, they may not be very rich, they may be very educated, they may be not very educated, but the life situations uh, are similar. We
Yeah.
connect there that we
Yeah.
all have suffered.
Yeah.
There's a sense of belonging there, like we get we are getting seen there because of our suffering, because of our not being seen by other members, by other family or friends or whoever is not present now in our now,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
that, for the people that we have lost or for the relationships that we have lost. In spite of everything happening, we are still seen, heard,
Mm.
accepted. And
Yeah.
it is with everybody, whoever is in the class.
Hmm.
So, what a beautiful and diverse community.
Yes. Yeah. Really beautiful. Really
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. And it reminds me of, I mean, it's how I see it, I suppose, but the honoring our suffering is honoring our humanity. And, and when you say we all have suffered, and then it kind of reminds me of, connects for me with like unmet needs, and then not resisting, and really honoring that part of being human is suffering,
Yeah.
and then again weaving in possibility, what's possible when we don't make it wrong that we're suffering, and we're willing to have a look to see a deeper truth, to have a look with compassion. And yeah, sometimes we can't do it alone.
Yeah.
So that connection, in the sessions or with colleagues or with community, and then even beyond the immediate CI community,
Yeah.
that connection is so paramount
It is.
to reconnecting and remembering our wholeness
Yeah.
and our hearts and our humanity.
I feel so good. I feel so good.
Me too. Thank you.
Yeah. So your first question is answered. Was
Yes,
I?
yes, it is. Yes, and I remember there's a second question. Yes, I'm definitely in the moment because I had forgotten that began with a question. Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you for the space.
Thank you for asking me. And it
Hmm.
was wonderful to explain and talk about it and to really feel those moments,
Hmm.
like I realize where I started and where I am now. That just flashed back to me. And in spite of so many things, I'm happy.
Hmm. Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that you experienced that, that sense of after you shared that.
That's because you asked me the question. I could go back there.
Mhm. Yes.
Thank you.
A lot of well, you just said I'm happy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so once again, something arises for me where when I'm a client in a compassionate inquiry session, often I have a lot of happiness that comes from being asked. So like we're asking one another here, but in a more formal session, there are
Yeah.
questions,
Yeah. Yeah.
like how do you feel, or what's the sensation in your body as you share this? And even though sometimes the emotions are difficult to feel, I just wanted to share that there's a happiness sometimes that happens for me of being asked
Hmm.
and experiencing the compassionate listening and being able to share. So yeah, those are just things that resonate as I hear you share. So I'd love to hear you share about your background as an artist and creativity if you'd like. as well, because the second question.
Absolutely. So, if you ask me about my background, like I used to do art when I was a child,
Hmm.
but it was all like very confined,
Hmm.
and it was all like seeing something and doing something. You know,
Hmm.
like I like that art. Maybe I'm going to do that
Yeah,
in my sketchbook or whatever.
sure. Hmm.
But then I did not do any art for 15, 16 years in between.
Hmm.
Interestingly, when I started meditating, you know, uh, I could see I every painting of mine is like a visual.
Hmm.
It's not
Hmm.
it's not like I'm looking at the cloud or I'm painting. It's not like I'm walking somewhere or I'm painting. And the visual is so clear. I do
Hmm.
not have to also think what color I'm going to do this one, what color I'm going to do that one.
Hmm.
So it's an unfolding, you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
and it's amazing. Every time I meditate, I have visuals
Wow.
and so clear color, shape, form. The only freedom for me is to choose the size of the canvas,
Hmm.
and rest everything is there in the visual.
Wow.
I do not have to think about any color, nothing.
Wow.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, it's like
Yes.
it's like what?
Yeah. Creative energy is so powerful. It's so amazing.
And I am so engaged doing those things. I don't even feel like I'm hungry, I need food, I need no, please.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing. How long do you have, like, a typical time that it takes to finish a painting? Is it fast or I mean, the way
Uh,
you described it, I was just curious. There might not be, a fixed answer, but
so if I see the visual and if I feel like it's complete, then I do phase by phase.
Mhm.
It depends. Like if I have time, I'll do it. I'll complete. Or if I have too many colors, then I'll wait for the layers to dry.
Ah, I see.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then do the next part.
Mm.
And if I know that I am not having time for this, then I sketch.
Mhm.
I write what I have seen.
Mhm.
But I also don't like that process. There is some kind of interference happens when I have seen and there's a big gap, and then I'm doing it now. I lose the connection there.
Mm, so interesting.
Yeah, I
Very
don't like that
interesting.
interference, like,
Mhm.
oh, maybe I should do this, oh, maybe I should do that. No, 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 I don't like that. I have done
Mhm.
that before, and I don't like that experience because I feel like it's some kind of mind game going on there.
Hmm, interesting.
But normally I don't like to wait. I
Mhm.
just do it right away. Even
Mm.
if I'm sketching, I'm not doing it in canvas. Like some of my paintings are just in my sketchbook. They are
Mm.
still not in the canvas. And I get a calling like I need to do this in the canvas. I need
Mhm.
to like this one.
Mhm.
I had done this one in my sketchbook.
Mhm.
And I thought that is it. And I never thought that I'm going to do it in the canvas. But yesterday, I was all set to go to work. I packed my bags, packed my lunch, and I was just going to get my car keys. And then I'm like, something that was driving me crazy. I mean, I was sweating and I was just walking from here to there. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. But then I could hear a voice like, I'm not going to work. I'm going to call off. So I didn't know the reason why I'm calling off. So I just called off yesterday and I said, like, I'm sick, I'm not working today. And then I couldn't settle myself because it was just too much overflow flow of energy or whatever.
Mm.
I
Mhm.
don't know. I couldn't eat. I was not able to drink water. I was having short breath. I was just walking around. I went outside, I walked in the grass for some time, but
Mhm.
that also didn't calm me down. And then I just chose to sit, you know, to meditate or
Wow.
do something. And then when I was sitting and doing my meditation, and this voice, I need to do this painting, you know.
Wow.
I didn't had the canvas. So I was like, okay, let me listen for some more time. If it's just a distraction or it actually wants to be done, needs to be done. So then I sat for like around 45 minutes, and then I was like, no, I have to go. Maybe this is what was supposed to be done today. Then I went, bought the canvas, and then all day I have been doing this yesterday.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. So much creative insight and listening and trust and knowing and confidence that I hear in what you're sharing.
uh, that is your observation, but for me it's
Yeah.
listening. It's listening.
Mhm.
It's listening. And
Mm.
that voice is so strong, I
Mm.
cannot let that go. I cannot
Mm.
let that go. Like for half an hour, I just in the morning when I was taking my car keys, that half an hour I was like struggling, you know. No,
Mm.
I have to go to work. I don't want to stay at home because I am committed. I have to go. I have to do this.
Mm.
And then nothing happened. Actually, nothing happened. So I go through these kind of inner struggle.
Mhm.
And then once I listen, then everything falls into place.
Yeah.
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 So that is
Wow.
how it is.
Thank you for sharing. It's so great to hear about your process. I appreciate that it's connected with meditation. It's
Oh
really
yeah,
powerful. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I strongly believe that it's because of the meditation I started my art. If there was no meditation, probably there would not have
Mhm.
this would not have happened.
Mhm.
If
Wow.
if if it had to happen, uh, it would have been a different style or way of painting, but not this kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Thank you.
I'm happy. Like I don't have any expectations because I don't ever set a target like, oh, I have to do this art. No, if
Right.
anything comes up for me, I do.
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
if I don't have like my painting for last month was like, I had a dream in February or March. Two canvas, two colors, two different colors. One was golden, and one was blue and
Hmm.
maroon.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm talking too much.
No, I'm here. I'm right here with you. This resonant dream from earlier in the year. I am all ears.
So that uh, uh, dream was like, I didn't know whether it was a complete thing or it was half or whatever, but
Right.
whatever I had seen, I just did that.
Hmm.
And then I put the canvas away so that I don't have to see the canvas, and then I don't want that artificiality to take over, you know.
Yeah.
And uh, that that feeling like, oh, I have to complete this or do this or that. I did
Right.
that, and then I put that canvas away. And last month I again had a dream, and then that painting manifested.
Wow.
So this is play of the mystical play, I would say.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, so last month's dream was a new painting?
This one?
When you said last month,
Yeah,
uh,
new painting. Yeah.
new
No,
painting.
that was the half that was left in February. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay,
You
that's
see
what
the
I didn't get.
connection? You
Yes,
see
I
the
do.
connection?
Yes, I do now,
September,
yeah.
September again I saw this
Wow,
needs to be done in that canvas. And
wow.
then I did it.
Mm,
And I was not
yeah,
anxious about waiting, or I was not expecting anything.
mhm,
Like if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't
mm,
come, it doesn't come. Whatever.
Mhm.
but see how it happens.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I appreciate that you shared that listening is the resonance for you there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would also like to say, because I listen, I suffer.
Mm.
There are so many situations where I would be like, no, this is not to be done. But then there's this inner voice which keeps on going.
Mhm.
You are doing this. You are doing this. You are doing this. You are doing this. There's this struggle, inner struggle. And then it takes a lot of courage to listen to my heart.
Yeah.
Should I go? Should I not? Should I go? Should I not? Those kind of juggle.
Yeah.
But then I finally go with my heart.
Yeah. I'm curious what is the struggle? Like why not go with the heart? Does anything come up for you?
Yes, because of my past experiences
Yes. Yes.
and
Mhm.
so many just listening
Mm.
to my heart and not listening to anybody who is important in my life,
Mm.
uh, and losing them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That fear is there.
Yeah.
Uh, it was very loud until I started doing compassionate inquiry.
Mhm.
I would listen to my heart, but then I would be afraid as well
Mhm.
because of my past situations, experiences.
Yes.
But now it is becoming normal for me,
Mhm.
listening to my heart, and I don't overthink that I'm not listening to them or I'm not doing what they're saying. I have to follow this, I have to follow that. No,
Yeah.
that part is now quiet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Wow, thank you for sharing. It resonates for me, particularly when you say it's the fear. I think you said something like this: fear will arise because of past experiences. Is that
Yes.
right? So yes, I experienced that too, and I recognize it for myself as a memory. It's a memory of pain, and the fear comes up, and my attention leaves the present moment. I go into the future, connect with the past, and I'm not present.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I'm working with that a lot personally, and I know many of us are
Oh, yeah.
being in relationship with fear,
Yeah.
anchoring into presence, um, getting curious. How um, can fear exist in presence, in pure presence?
It does, but for me, like if something is coming up for me and it is just related to me, I have no fear
Mm.
because I have to take the action
Mhm.
and it is for me and it has no relevance for the other. Then I
Mhm.
have no fear
Right. Right.
because it's only for me, you know.
Right. Right.
But if I have to do something where my family is involved or my friends or my whatever is involved, community is involved, then there is fear, excuse me, and there is also like this thought that I might have to lose or they didn't understand me the way I'm trying to be.
Mhm.
Judgment is there,
Mhm.
and yeah, sometimes that gets a little bit dicey because some places we are compelled, like for a community, like if something is there in the community, even though my heart is saying no, we have to just be present there for everybody.
Mhm.
So always my preference cannot be um, everybody's priority.
Mhm. Right.
But For the things that I have to do, then I'm listening 100%.
Mm-hmm.
That is my priority. I cannot go to work, I cannot eat, I mean, it's just limited to me, so I can like be engaged with that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it is.
Mm. Yeah, it's a great area of exploration for sure. For
Yes,
sure.
yes,
Yeah,
yes. Yeah, I'm still learning.
me too. Yeah. I love learning. I love
Oh, yeah.
learning. And I love that in order to receive and to be in connection and to learn, um, we need to be in a regulated nervous system state.
Mm,
I need to be in yeah, in regulation in order to learn.
that's
Um,
true.
I think that's a powerful something powerful I learned in the past couple of years related to the compassionate inquiry community. That's a bit of touching on nervous system health, um, but it is really relevant too, relevant to the sessions and being present. Um, yeah,
Yeah, the most the best thing that happens is like being present.
yeah,
Being present, that is a skill.
yeah. It's a practice and a skill. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
yeah, and it's
Yeah,
it's just amazing. Just turns the situation.
yeah. It can. It
Yeah,
can. It really can. Yeah. Yeah, so much comes up for me around that, you know, it's,
please share, I'm listening.
yeah, sure. So, what came up for me was being curious about, how it can be helpful to be curious about what gets in the way
Mm-hmm.
of being present.
Yeah.
And as we spoke of before, you know, like choosing, having agency, you know, so when we're willing to get curious about what's in the way of presence, um, you know, that could be moment to moment, or there could be themes. Like I certainly have a theme that involves fear, and fear will push me out of presence, or I can only have so much presence
Wow.
when I have fear active in my system. Um, but the recognizing, like, okay, if fear gets in the way, how can I invite a little bit of a space or a little pause for that possibility of choice rather than reaction? Or whether it's a reaction, like a reaction towards someone, or possibly an impulsive choice,
Mm-hmm.
uh, something maybe that I have a habit of doing. Um, and not making it wrong, not making any of it wrong. You know, all these things that I have learned from compassionate inquiry that I'm naming right now in different ways, how it shows up for me and the people that I work with in the sessions. And there's so much rich opportunity to continue that practice. Um, and
Yeah.
the more that I practice, the stronger I can anchor into it. You know, the larger the anchor seems to resonate for me. And when I maybe take a break from my practice, it's quick to diminish. I notice.
Wow.
Um, so that's something I notice too with my meditation practice. Like if
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty, I'm pretty consistent with it, but if I geographically change a location or something, I can tell my system isn't as grounded. I'm not able to sit in
Mm-hmm.
presence, you know, it's more difficult. And then once again, not making that wrong, but just noticing, um,
Wow.
and, you know, continuing to recommit,
Yep.
you know, and to remember, because I often have made a joke that it's a joke coming from a place that's very real. I believe for many of us, but definitely for me, sometimes when I'm in a moment of fear or my themes are awakened, some relational situation or environment has activated my nervous system or my trauma or my wounds, I'm not really seeing clearly from the present moment. Something's coming in from somewhere else from the past. Um, and so I have joked before, it's in those moments where I'll say, tools, healing options, never heard of them. Never heard of them. I have none. I don't know, and it's a joke, but actually it's just, it takes that time
Yeah.
of saying, oh, there it is again. Now let's, once I recognize it, can I gently lead myself back to looking at it with curiosity, tending to myself, giving myself what I need, reaching to community for what I need, etc. Yeah, it's such a rich practice. There's so much there that comes up.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing that situation, like when your nervous system is activated and there's this tools. Do you need tools? I mean, it is, as you have put it, like it could be a joke, but why not playfulness?
Yes, yes, playfulness. There you go. Exactly.
Yeah, just chill.
Yeah. Playfulness is a great energy to bring in. I agree. I agree. Yeah.
It just liberates.
Yeah.
That holding is no more there when there's playfulness.
Yeah.
I feel playfulness has less ego,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's not heavy. It
Mhm.
just lightens up.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the playfulness that is trying to reach you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I'll remember that. I love playfulness too, and I didn't respond earlier, but we do have that in common. I find it easier to communicate and spend time with children than adults oftentimes. So that playfulness reminded me of that.
Yeah.
That sense of ease and curiosity and playfulness. Yeah, there's so much to discover there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So, um, should we do a case study or maybe we'll do it in another session?
I would be open to doing a case study if you are.
Yeah,
I could go either way.
absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
okay for that.
Yeah.
So, I read the case study that summary that you shared.
Hmm.
So we can talk about that if you
Okay, sure.
yeah, yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So would you like to start?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. You know what? Let me pull that up in the email.
Yeah, sure.
Because I want to actually, would it be okay if I read it so that anyone watching can then
Yeah, sure, sure.
hear it? Um, so a case study is an example of something that a client might bring to a session to explore. And I will share one of the many things I love about compassionate inquiry is that the sessions are anchored into the client's intention. So there's an intention that's created for each session. I have come to so enjoy that process and the power of intention. It gives agency, it gives the opportunity for both people in the session to hold the intention and to be present with it and to really in a playful way explore to in a playful compassionate way to explore. um, so the case study that I have that we could talk about today, I'll just read what I had shared. So a client or person, is having a difficult time taking the necessary steps to reach their goals due to fear, and a pattern of avoidance that comes up for them. The person is aware in some ways that it's possible for them to take appropriate actions, yet something is holding them back and getting in the way, and they're not sure what it is. So that is what I suggested as an exploration. So of course I would start by again touching upon setting an intention for a session. But what comes to me right away is that this example presents an emotion, and it also presents a bit of a curiosity about like what is getting in the way, what's happening, what is happening for me in this situation, because I seem to not be following through on the actions I need to take. And so the way that I see compassionate inquiry being supportive to a person in this situation would be to invite them to explore how the fear is showing up in their body, if they're believing anything about themselves. And we can get curious about this by exploring a recent situation,
Yep.
to have a example offered.
Yep.
And so there's sensation in the body, there's emotion. There could be a way that the client is seeing themselves, this person is seeing themselves, maybe something they're believing about themselves. And then from there, we can get curious about if it's familiar, if this is something that the client has recognized before in their life. We could explore how far back it goes, and continue on from there. So I want to pause and see if you want to add something, or if you also to just check in and see if there's any other angle that you might want to add or invite.
um, I was just realizing that how this goals, as you said in the beginning, goal
Mm,
is more ego,
yes.
aim is more open.
Yeah.
So sometimes what happens is like goal is so much available a word and so much talked about that
Yeah.
it just locks you there, it just limits you to a
Mm,
certain way, certain extent, and then uh, there is this blockage,
mm-hmm.
and goal has a very loud personality.
I appreciate that. Yeah. 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 Thank you. Did you want to say more? I just wanted to make sure.
uh,
Yeah.
no, like as you said, like reach their goals. I mean, I had a client uh, who whose goal was like, uh, I don't want to eat junk. I want to stop eating junk.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have so how words have has limits. I realize like I don't want to eat junk. Okay, that is a possibility. I don't want to eat. Uh, what did he say? Uh, I don't want to snack. I don't want to eat junk. There is also this possibility of I want to have a healthy lifestyle,
Yes. Yeah.
and which is more open.
Yeah.
So when he said that I don't want to eat junk, I felt like he's closing himself.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say I want to have a healthy lifestyle, it's a it's an opening.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new possibility.
Yeah.
There's this positivity. There is this uh, openness. There's exploration. There's curiosity. Whereas
Mhm.
when you say I do not want to eat junk, then how it is You are just locked
Mhm. Yeah.
and stuck.
Yeah.
So when I asked, like, what other possibilities can we explore
Mhm.
about that not eating junk, that is not the main thing, but where it is, where is the, what is the source, where it is rooting to,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know you know basically it landed uh, to a situation where he understood that actually what he wants is a healthy lifestyle.
Yes.
So so that staying with that one thought, there was a lot of struggle
Hmm.
because there was no opening there.
Right. Right. Right.
But when we moved from food to why food, why food, what food can give us
Right.
and what food cannot give us.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
So that shift, that opening, that exploration uh, is very very uh, important, and it's very authentic. There's no nothing unnatural.
Mhm.
It's just like exploring another way of reaching out to what we can get,
Right. Right.
right? So that we explored, and sometimes little things can be of big concern.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? I was amazed to hear even that I don't want to eat junk. Okay, that's what you don't want, but what you want.
Right.
There is
Yeah.
always a want, yes and no. There's always a yes
Yeah.
and a no. So
Mhm.
mostly we go got get carried away with the no.
Yeah. Yeah, I do appreciate that a lot. Yeah, and getting curious with a client to see, like, what would they like to receive
Yeah,
from what you're exploring.
yeah, that's right.
Um, yeah, and when I hear you share that, it also gives the person an opportunity to say for themselves what they want. I
Mm,
mean, what they do when, when someone says, "I don't want this," and then they get the opportunity to fill in and to envision
yeah,
and ideally like sense into their bodily felt sensation of when they name what they want.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the case study that I shared, there's so many possibilities, there's so many ways to approach that. And so I would also name that it would depend on the person
yeah,
and how they responded too. Um, but we can always get curious about an emotion. We can get curious of what it's like to locate any body
yeah,
sensations that come up with an emotion. Even that alone in a compassionate, attuned listening space can be powerful.
yeah, yeah. And as you rightly said, like body experience, feeling, sensation. Mostly, what I have experienced is like I'm heady. I'm in my head. I can't
Mhm.
drop down to my body.
Yeah,
I cannot think. I cannot name the feeling. I don't feel anything. I mean, there have been sessions like I don't feel anything. I
yeah.
don't feel nothing.
Mhm.
I don't feel anything in my body. And so that is also something for me to learn. Like they are so dissociated
Yeah,
that so the journey between from your head to our heart, I think it is the biggest journey, longest journey.
yeah. It can be. It can be. It can be painful too. Um,
Definitely yes.
I mean, parts of it, I don't wanna say, I can't speak to everyone's experience at all either,
Yeah,
but
that's right.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying that, and I actually would like to say, if anyone watching this is new to
Hmm.
somatic healing approaches that involve connecting with body sensations, being present with sensations in the body, I just want to extend my warm welcome to anyone who's curious about somatic healing. If you don't know what it means, that's okay. Um, so coming out of our minds, like when I'm able to come out of my conditioned thinking mind and actually feel my body, connect with my heart, it's a different experience. And there's different possibilities available to us when we have all of us. That we're, I keep going from us, but when I'm intending to connect with all of me, not just the thinking mind to solve it, it can be so powerful. And I will also add that for me, many years ago, yoga was also a big part of my past. And um, for a time period, off and on in my 20s, I was on antidepressants and I didn't like the side effects. And what helped me, and everyone makes their own choices, but one thing that helped me not take the antidepressants was a commitment to yoga. And so I committed to going to yoga at least twice a week. And now I understand that reconnected me with my body, my breath, and my heart.
Wow.
And then fast forward a few years, I noticed that I was had a lot of anxiety and fear. So I'm sharing this because it was hard for me to come back into my body, and I had to do it a couple different times, and I still practice that. And so it can be uncomfortable, and it can be so liberating and so grounding, and it can be enhancing it's often enhancing to my capacity to be present.
Yeah.
So thank you for letting me share that. It was a passionate inspiration because compassionate inquiry is a somatic healing approach, and I know that not all people have experienced somatic healing, and I just extend my warm welcome to anyone who's curious and wants to try it and experience it.
Yeah. Why don't you just say about your website and where uh,
Yeah.
your qualification, like you completed compassionate inquiry, now you are into mentorship, and a little bit about your details so that anyone who wants to reach out to you, they
Yeah,
can reach out to you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. My website is heartpeacehealing.com. I'm a certified compassionate inquiry practitioner, and I am currently training to be a compassionate inquiry mentor. I also offer Akashic Records sessions as well. And I consider myself to be a heart body wisdom inviter.
Oh,
So thank you. Thank you for having me, Mamina Das. I so appreciate it. And I appreciate you and our conversation so much.
same feelings for me. And it was great talking to you and knowing about you and exploring about feelings and touching base with the compassionate inquiry where we
Mm,
met,
yeah,
honoring
yeah.
that space. I know in this conversation we talked a lot about compassionate inquiry, but yes, we did. The reason for sticking to compassionate inquiry is because I have lived myself there actually,
Mhm.
and I am living there happily. So I can always talk about compassionate inquiry, and I met beautiful people like Leigh
Mm, thank you.
in that beautiful space. So
Likewise.
I'm also grateful for that, and Thank you for being with us. Thank you for sharing your experiences, your journey, and yeah,
Thank,
yeah, and
thank you so much.
thank you. I hope we will meet again.
Yes, me too. Absolutely. I trust that we will.
And yeah, you have a good weekend.
You
And
as well.
yeah,
Thank you.
take care. Bye.
Okay, bye. Thank you,
Aloha.
Marina. Aloha.
Aloha. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.